Good evening, friends, and welcome to a breaking news live stream out of San Antonio, Texas. The San Antonio Police Department has announced on their Facebook page just about 30 minutes or so ago that they have made an arrest in the Soto Guerra case. And this is unbelievable that we were just live 40 minutes ago. So this must have been developing, Ed, as we were getting ready to close our live stream. The wheels of justice are starting to turn. Any thoughts on a swift arrest? We were just talking about this tonight.
Yeah, it's great news. Great news. I can't wait to get the details.
Friends, is the walkout of the perpetrator or perpetrators of the brutal murder of Savanah Soto and Matthew Guerra. The arrest was made just a short time ago, friends. And this is a live feed from the San Antonio Police Department's Facebook page. Delana says, great job by the law enforcement officers. Absolutely. We were just talking about this a half hour ago, that, they're going to be working hard on making a collar here. And as you can see, we're in the Sally Port.
I don't know if you're joining us right now on the KSAT live stream. We're told in about 5 minutes we'll see those two arrests. We've been confirmed that there are two arrests. We'll keep you updated right now. This is all in relation to the Savanah Soto Matthew Guerra case.
So two people.
Savanah Soto was 18 years old. She was pregnant at the time. That was last week when her two bodies were found and identified in that car near Leon Valley, but it was in San Antonio. That scene, we saw that there was one car. We waited for Chief McManus to give us that update. At that time, he could not confirm whether those two bodies inside the car were of Matthew Guerra and Savanah Soto, but we have since learned from the medical examiner that was Savanah Soto and Matthew Guerra. We had gone to both vigils for both Savanah and Matthew and baby Fabian, so we'll continue to keep you updated. We're told about 5 minutes we'll see those two arrests.
This is breaking news, friends.
Right now, but just stay tuned on this live stream. Thanks.
All right, that was a great update for her. We got 5 minutes to discuss what we got going on here. I'm gonna mute this so we don't have to hear it. I'll put it down low so we don't miss anything. Ed, what's your thoughts?
Great day for law enforcement. Great day for the family here and the victims.
Great day for justice.
Yeah, let's figure out how they got to this father and son, and what the beef was.
I'm curious to see if it's this big guy that was in that truck.
Oh, it has to be. He has to be related to this.
We'll know right away as soon as we see him walk out.
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer Nobles, good to see you. Ed, it looks like they're just trying to get a steady shot. I'm hoping they put that camera on like a tripod.
Hey everyone, joining on the KSAT 12 live stream. We are about minutes away from seeing these two arrests in the Savanah Soto Matthew Guerra case. Remember, this was 18-year-old Savanah Soto and her 22-year-old boyfriend. They were found dead inside a vehicle last week near Leon Valley. We still don't know any of the details of this arrest, but we know that there are two arrests. We're about to see this perp walk right now. We'll continue to keep you updated. Just hang on tight while we wait for those two arrests to come out.
Excellent. Thank you for that update. Awesome. 60 years.
Yeah, well, it was 63, so it's going on 61 years, right?
I'm wondering if these reporters will be able to shout things out to them like classic New York style when we do the perp walkouts out of the precinct. They're always asking questions. Hopefully some of them will volley some questions. Nobody's going to answer it, but Papa Smurf said this made my night. I'm sure this made a lot of people's night, including the family. Looks like business as usual. Ed, you want to talk a little bit about this is what we do. There's excitement probably with the team, but this is what police and detectives do. They bring evil to justice,
Mm-hmm.
So.
Exactly. Those guys are high-fiving it.
Oh yeah, behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kathy. Tennessee Army says, thank you, DutyRon and Ed, for coming back on your time.
The media is all set up for it. I wonder if any of the family members of the victims are nearby.
Yep. Yeah. So
At SAPD headquarters, we're told that
I want to have a talk with him or her at the end of this. So I'm starting to get dizzy. So what you're looking at is the hallway where they're going to walk out these two defendants, again, innocent until proven guilty. This is a perp walk. And it's a long hallway. I hope they walk them slowly to the car. And I am so interested in hearing what Chief McManus has to say. And just remember, he's not going to give up a lot of information. It's going to be very, very brief. It's going to be not detailed. And Ed, jump in anytime you want. This is going to be the basics, maybe some pedigree, because don't forget they've been processed here. They've been arrested in this location, and now they're bringing them to county jail. So that's the process. They're inside.
Bringing them to lockup.
Yep, headquarters, and they're going to take them to the county jail, where there'll be an arraignment, perhaps overnight or in the morning, depending on how they do it there. In New York, we have the arraignment within a very short period of time. And, it's done differently in various different locations.
In case that 12 live stream viewers were waiting patiently to arrest in the Savanah Soto Matthew Guerra case, they will come right behind us and they will be directed to their cars. This is a perp walk. After that, we'll have a media briefing where we'll get to learn how they have connection to this case, any other additional information. If you have questions, you should tweet them at us at KSAT, news at KSAT. You can also email those to us or on Facebook. We'll try to ask those questions as we do this briefing. But again, the next couple of minutes, we should see those two arrests. This is in relation to the Savanah Soto and Matthew Guerra case. She was 18-year-old. He was 22. She was pregnant at the time of her death. We'll continue to keep you updated.
Guys, make sure you quickly hit the thumbs up while you're here, while we're waiting. I appreciate each and every one of you hitting that thumbs up, sharing this out onto your social media platforms. I rushed down here, so I might even messed up some of the spelling in the title, but I just quickly got it out there. If you're not yet subscribed to Crime Time DutyRon and Ed Wallace, we are retired NYPD detectives. And if you like everything as it pertains to investigations with police and investigations like this, we walk the walk and talk the talk. We did this job for 20 plus years. So thank you all for considering subscribing here to this community. Perp walk for the two perpetrators in connection to the murders of Matthew Guerra and his pregnant girlfriend, wife, mom, Savanah Soto, 18 years old and 22.
All right, Jennifer, there's no stupid questions in our chat. A perp walk is when police bring the suspects in a high-profile case out in cuffs so that the media can grab footage of the arrested individuals as they come from the police station or headquarters into the vehicles to be brought down to what we would call central booking.
I must have missed that one. Thank you for everyone for hitting the like button. We appreciate it.
And yes, perp means perpetrator.
Yeah, it's just short for perpetrator. The camera guy needs to stand still. Yes, Jerry, we agree. We agree. We agree. Look at this comment. This is a good one. This channel is so great, so professional, but real, like we are all friends. It's a great community.
We are a family here. This is the DutyRon family.
Schmitty is saying, where's Mr. Big? Everybody wants to see him. Jennifer Nobles is here. Curious Kiwi. Shout out to Ramen Girl. Thank you for being here. I need some Dramamine after this. Yeah, we're all hyped up. How the hell am I going to go to sleep after this?
Sudafed.
Let's recap real quick. 2 arrests around, 10 o'clock Eastern, 10:30. I might be off on these times. It happened a real short time after we ended our live stream. I just washed my face, brushed my teeth, and went up to bed. And all of a sudden, Karen Cole, Legal Minded Friends from UK, she blew my phone up and she was like, breaking news, there's an arrest. I was like, what? So we jumped up, Ed and I jumped up and we geared back up, and I'm down here in the studio, just fired everything up. We're anticipating the perpetrators to come down and walk down here into the police vehicles. We call them radio motor patrol, RMPs, and they're going to take these perpetrators to the county jail, to the county lockup, where they'll be arraigned on first-degree murder charges, capital murder, I hope.
Yeah. Now, RMPs is just a New York term. The rest of the law enforcement community throughout the nation calls them cruisers.
Cruisers, right. Yep. So a lot of people on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, let us know where you're watching from, city, state, or country, and we give you a quick shout out before this walkout happens. We don't get an opportunity to do this, Ed, because usually we're giving content. This is the content right now. So let us know where you're watching, city, state, country. And if you are in San Antonio, we'd like to hear from you and your thoughts as well on the arrest in the brutal murder of Savanah Soto, Matthew Guerra, and their unborn child. So sad.
Roanoke, Virginia, Australia, Mississippi, Missouri, Auburn, Washington, New York, Florida, Ohio, Oklahoma, Chicago. I'll be in Chicago next week.
Yeah. So Lancaster, California. Hello from Idaho, Oklahoma, Denver, Calval. Thank you. Rebecca says, do they worry about family retaliation? Kind of Oswald. I'm in Ohio, was in San Antonio during the Army. Cool city. You know, it's not going to matter whether you do this walkout. Their names are going to be public record. So there's always going to be that danger with the perpetrators' families for retribution, for anything, for public outlash. It's just that comes with the territory. There's nothing that you can do about it, right, Ed? I mean, am I off?
Well, I mean, you know, hopefully there's law enforcement out there by the media that are waiting for the perp walk, and they're looking to make sure.
Talking about going forward when they
the
identify
victim's family doesn't do anything here.
Okay.
Here comes number one.
Now
Here's the big guy.
That's him.
That's the big guy.
It's the big guy from the truck.
Uh-huh.
That's the face of evil.
Are you sorry for what happened? Did you know she was pregnant?
Oh, always fake news. So
He said
Fake news.
This is your final chance to say something about your side.
hey guys, we're going this way.
No,
Uh-oh.
Yeah, guys, always one-sided. You don't even know what's going on.
he's denying it.
Okay, yeah, you weren't the guy in the truck.
For the family. You sorry?
They want to know why.
I can't believe they let the cameras get that close to him.
Did you do it?
Really?
Why did you do it?
Did you know she was pregnant?
Yeah, usually we have the media like that behind some barricades. We don't let them get like that.
That's definitely the
Fine, man.
pickup
You
truck
reverse.
guy.
You sorry? Aren't you sorry for lying about what you're saying? You don't even know what's going on. Well, tell
You
us.
just make stuff up. Like, oh,
Tell us.
I don't even know what's
What's going
going on, he said.
Did you shoot them?
Did you shoot them?
An unborn baby.
Did you kill them or did you just hide the evidence?
I've never seen this before
How'd you
like
know
this.
Savannah?
Yeah, I can't believe the police haven't shut that door and haven't moved on.
You sorry?
If it wasn't you, who was it then?
Wow.
Closing door. Excuse me. Excuse me, guys.
Oh, there we go.
I've never seen that before. That close.
He better get used to doors slamming like that.
The mics were over the officer's arms.
Mhm.
This is their feed, the upload feed. Here we go. Here's number 2
Oh, long hair.
in the car.
It was him in a ponytail.
It's not a female.
Are you sorry for what happened? Anything to say to your family? How does it make you feel, an unborn baby? What do you want to say to your family, to Savannah, to Matthew's family?
You sorry?
Person driving a Kia.
What message do you have
Nothing
for
to
the family?
say, an unborn child.
It was an entire family.
Is that a female or a male?
Sorry?
Yeah, I can't get the gender there.
That appears to the person who was driving the Kia, perhaps, but we don't know.
I mean, yeah, you could put the hair was long enough to put in a ponytail.
Yeah, looks like a male. But then,
Oh, let's wait for this press conference here. It's gonna go now, right?
it was an incredible walkout. I mean, I have never seen cameras get and mics over the officers.
I guess the chief will be coming out of the elevator here.
Yeah. Someone said, dude looks like a lady. Isn't that a song?
Yeah, that was Aerosmith, wasn't it?
Yeah. All right, here we go. Sergeant, they said, was going to give a presser.
Oh, no, he's got some kind of message there.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sergeant Washington Moscoso, WASHINGTON MOSCOSO. So the individuals you saw this evening, the first individual's name is Ramon Preciado, 53 years old, SID number 443651. The second individual was Christopher Preciado, 19 years old, SID number 1191061. So the two individuals we just walked out today, again, is a father and son. The first individual is a father. The second individual is a son. They're going to be charged. The son's going to be charged this evening with capital murder, and the father's going to be charged with abuse of a corpse.
That's the feed.
So I'm not going to go into the whole thing. We all know what kind of led us to this to where we are today. I will say that when we recover, or when the bodies were discovered on Danny K, obviously the investigators made that location and started collecting evidence. One of the key pieces of evidence that we did collect at the scene, the cell phone, and so our technology team
Damn it.
was on there with enough information, and so that information was given to our detectives today. With that information, the detectives were able to find a possible location of where the suspect vehicle that was released on that surveillance camera, the surveillance video, possible location where that suspect vehicle might be. They made that location, and sure enough, the vehicle was there. They did a little bit of surveillance on the video, or on the vehicle, and then were able to determine which house it belonged to. They went up, knocked on the door. The first gentleman, the first individual, the father answered the door. He knew why the police were there. Was cooperated fully with the investigation. We're right here to headquarters, and our detectives were able to start interviewing both the son and the father. Again, they were both at the home. They were both brought down here, and the interrogations began. Through interrogating the individuals, our detectives had enough, based on what they said, there was enough information there to get a warrant signed by a judge tonight, again, to charge Christopher with capital murder and Ramon with abuse of a corpse. Again, there will be more charges pending. This is what we have right now. I'll answer any questions, Jamal.
So it was the cell phone.
Yeah. Cell phone data.
Does that mean that you guys believe the son killed them and then the dad helped hide the body?
Yes. And so I want to touch base on something real quick. Since the release of the video that we put out on the 28th, internet has blown up with people sending tips and people just sending misinformation. There's a lot of misinformation out there. These two individuals are the only suspects that we were looking for. They were arrested. There were many names being thrown around on the internet. Those people had nothing to do with this.
So the son murdered them, and the father disposed of them.
So the individual, again, Christopher, we believe
Abuse of a corpse.
murders of Matthew and
I don't know what he did. It looked like the son drove the car off and deposited those bodies in that parking lot.
It appears to be a narcotic related deal that went bad.
We know the connection between this father and son and Matthew and Savanah, or the connection to the apartment complex.
So there's no apparent connection to the apartment complex. It's just a place where they want to go dump, dispose, or hide the vehicle with the bodies in
I
it.
said the dump
And
tonight.
it appears that it was a drug deal. So there was like a drug connection to the.
Still somebody else in that pickup truck who threw that towel.
It's just when you hiding the body, moving the body after discovering that and all that kind of stuff. Yep.
Yeah, so it's
December 21st, which is a Thursday, just before midnight, is when the actual murders took place. On that. Mm-hmm.
And are you going to be charged for the baby? Because in the state of Texas, technically things would be charged for the
Right. So like I said, there's going to be possible charges pending, more charges pending. Our detectives are going to talk with the Bexar County DA to determine if they're going to be any charges facing any charges related to the unborn
They
baby.
killed him on Thursday before midnight, December 21st.
I didn't have that information from the medical examiners. I know that she was scheduled to be induced, and she
is
didn't
the father an accomplice after the fact?
to the police to file the missing persons report.
Did he say where exactly they killed him?
I don't have exactly location. Or we just know that they were killed at a different location and then taken to the apartment complex to
They dumped him.
to dispose of the vehicle and the bodies. I know there was some Spanish questions I wanted to knock out real quick.
He gave a lot of information.
Nada más una pregunta. Si tienes preguntas a particular.
¿A quiénes presentaron esta noche?
Sí, esta noche el primer señor que salió es Ramon Preciado, de 53 años, y el segundo es Christopher Preciado, de 19 años. Christopher Preciado es el que hizo los asesinatos de las víctimas, y su papá.
All right, so they're doing a Spanish version of this. Again, this is the feed coming in from this news station, so it's broken. They're inside like a garage. Yeah, if we had a Spanish interpreter, that would help, but we don't.
Parece que había una transacción de drogas que no fue, que fue mal. La transacción de drogas fue mal y resultó en la muerte de los dos víctimas.
Yeah, he speaks both language. Ed speaks like
well,
what,
I mean,
4?
someone was buying and someone was selling, so it was
He's just given what he already said about the father and son in Spanish.
Yeah, you speak 4 languages, right, Ed? 3 or 4?
Sorry, who?
Yeah.
the dad, could he be charged with the murders as well through an accomplice theory?
No, he was not. He was not there during the commission of the murder.
So the father was not there during the
He was
commission of the
called
murder.
Right, that's what I'm saying. He's accessory after the fact.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, abuse of a corpse.
Christopher has no previous criminal history, and Ramon did have a small. He had some prior criminal history.
So, are you all done looking for suspects at this
Yeah,
point?
we don't have any other suspects that we're looking
So during the drug deal,
Alive during
he
that?
shoots and kills them both, calls his dad and says what he does. They meet up in the back of that parking lot.
Well,
And the
I don't know if
dad looks to see what he
that
wipes down some stuff with the
vehicle
towel,
bodies in.
tells the kid to go dump the body around the corner.
So ultimately, who's going to make the decision on the final charges? Is that going to
Sound about right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So our detective again tonight are charging them with Christopher with capital murder and Ramon with
Abuse of a corpse.
abuse of a corpse. They are working on some other charges that they're going to file. But regarding, I think specifically the question that you had about the unborn baby, they're going to have a conversation with the DA to determine whether they can charge or put the baby as another victim on this.
So does SCP have any say whenever they talk to the DA's office?
Absolutely, yeah. It's a collaboration with our DA's
Would you
office.
say SCPD is going to seek that they're charged for the unborn baby?
Our detectives are going to do everything they can to bring justice to the family.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you all for coming out tonight.
All right, she's going to recap. Let's listen to her. Hopefully she talks a little slower. Her mic is loud. They're going to charge them with the baby. Baby's full term, 9 months. She was past her due date. There is no third suspect. 2 arrests, no more arrests, as per the POI sergeant.
Yes. Yep, Steve. I asked about the relation between that father and son duo and Savanah and Matthew, and they said it was a drug deal. We don't know specifics over what
Drug deal
happened.
gone bad.
There was even a reporter who asked, what are they buying, selling? We don't know the specifics. They also don't know any specific connection to that apartment complex right now. But Steve, I did ask, you wanted clarification. Are they looking for any more suspects? They're not. They are potentially looking at more charges for this father and son, but no more suspects at this time. I mean, it's just been a couple of days. We were out there just under 2 weeks ago when they were first searching for Savanah, and then when they found her body near Leon Valley in that apartment complex parking lot. So at least we're getting more details now. During that surveillance video, we do know that they were dead when that surveillance clip showed the father and son and that truck that was in the surveillance video as well. But, we're continuing to learn more details, and specifically the biggest update tonight, like you said, father and son, drug deal, no more suspects. So SAPD is considering this a big win within a small time frame.
Yeah, she's reporting live into the studio. So she's waiting for the studio reporter to talk back to her. She was just leaning down that whole time.
Right, Steve. I mean, I was there when family heard for the first time that there were 2 dead bodies found inside that vehicle. I mean, the cries, it was devastating. I've been able to talk to Savanah's family and Matthew's family, and everyone's just devastated. Even, the unborn child, Fabian. There's so much life that was yet to be lived for this couple and this child, and it's devastating, but at least there are some answers. I mean, I was there at the vigil for Savanah Soto when her family was watching off of my phone the press conference from just last Thursday, and they were waiting for any details. I mean, just seeing that truck, seeing 2 people, there was so much satisfaction and devastation at the same time. So tonight, it's a late night, but there are some answers for this family.
I wish I had the other side of this. Yep, that's it. Yeah, and that's it. Let me just click this off. We could go back, I believe. Let's see if we can. I'm not sure. No. All right. So again, let's recap. It looks like the father was not present when these murders happened, according to the sergeant. The son, Christopher, going to be charged with capital murder. This murder happened just before midnight, as you heard him say, December 21st, Thursday. It was a drug deal gone bad. The father was not present, but did help to dispose of the bodies. And he even said the dump word, that they dumped them behind that location at that apartment complex. There is no attachment to that complex. They don't live there. They didn't say where the murders took place. I see a lot of people in the chat asking, where did these murders take place? They did not specifically say that. We are all curious about that towel. Who threw that towel to him? Was it just the wind that blew it? I don't know. I would have to say that they seem pretty certain, pretty sure. Ed, your thoughts?
Yeah, that towel has to be answered out.
Yeah.
Or maybe they know already, and just maybe it was the mother. And they're just not going to charge her. I don't know, but it's hopefully there's going to be more detail given out in a press release tomorrow in the AM, and we'll get more details on it. So we'll stay on top of it.
Right. I'm going to go to this. Stand by a second. What am I seeing here? Is this the replay? I believe it might be. Hold on.
Oh, they're closing the doors and
Yeah, it's the replay.
okay.
So I went onto the Facebook page. Just want to see the walkout again.
There he is.
Yeah, let's see this full screen. 720 is the highest resolution. This is the replay of the walkout. Let's hear what the reporters have to say. He does a lot of denying and
Are you sorry for what happened? Did you know she was pregnant?
Oh, always fake news, huh?
always fake news.
This is your final chance to say something about your side.
Hey guys, we're going this way.
Again, this is the guy who's driving the
That guy's
pickup.
always one sided. You don't even know what's going on.
His name is Ramon Preciado.
You sorry?
I might be saying that wrong. 53 years old.
Did you know she was pregnant? Huh? Did you hear?
Why was it the whole family?
Close to Christmas?
Barely fits in that car. Wow.
Why, man? Any remorse? You sorry? Aren't you sorry for lying about what you're saying? You don't even know what's going on. Well, tell us. You just made stuff up. Like, always. Tell us. What's going on?
Did you shoot them?
Did you shoot them?
An unborn baby.
Did you kill them or did you just hide the evidence?
How'd you know Savanah?
Was it retaliation?
You sorry?
If it wasn't you, who was it then?
Watch out, guys.
Closing door. Excuse me. Excuse me, guys.
Second perp, Christopher Preciado, 19 years old, charged with capital murder.
Are you sorry for what happened? Anything to say to your family? How does it make you feel, an unborn baby? What do you want to say to your family, to Savannah, to Matthew's family?
You sorry? You sorry? What message do you have
Nothing
for
to
the family?
say, an unborn child.
It was an entire family.
Drug deal gone wrong.
You sorry?
I could see possibility that the Christopher was in the back seat of the car, and he shot both of them in the back of the head from the back seat, and then dragged Matthew to the back, and then jumped into the car and drove off.
Yeah. Let's take a listen to the sergeant again. Let's see if we can pick up anything on the second go around, and I'll stay quiet on this.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sergeant Washington Moscoso, WASHINGTON MOSCOSO. So the individuals you saw this evening, the first individual's name is Ramon Preciado, 53 years old, SID number 443651. The second individual was Christopher Preciado, 19 years old, SID number 1191061. So the two individuals we just walked out today, again, is a father and son. The first individual is a father. The second individual is a son. They're going to be charged. The son's going to be charged this evening with capital murder, and the father's going to be charged with abuse of a corpse. So I'm not going to go into the whole thing. We all know what kind of led us to this to where we are today. I will say that when we recovered, or when the bodies were discovered on Danny K, obviously the investigators made that location and started collecting evidence. One of the key pieces of evidence that we did collect at the scene the cell phone. And so our technology team who was on there
Again, this is the feed. This
with
isn't us.
information. And so that information was given to our detectives today. With that information, the detectives were able to find a possible location of where the suspect vehicle that was released on that surveillance camera, the surveillance video, possible location where that suspect vehicle might be. They made that location, and sure enough, the vehicle was there. They did a little bit of surveillance on the video or on the vehicle, and then were able to determine which house it belonged to. They went up, knocked on the door. The first gentleman, the first individual, the father answered the door.
No
He
gentleman.
knew why the police were there. Was cooperated fully with the investigation. We're right here to headquarters, and our detectives were able to start interviewing both the son and the father. Again, they were both at the home. They were both brought down here, and the interrogations began. Through interrogating the individuals, our detectives had enough, based on what they said, there was enough information there to get a warrant signed by a judge tonight, again, to charge Christopher with capital murder and Ramon with abuse of a corpse. Again, there will be more charges pending. This is what we have right now. I'll answer any questions you might.
And then abuse of the corpse charge. Does that mean that you guys believe the son killed them?
Now, because this isn't live, I could pause it. I was surprised, Ed, that no reporter asked the sergeant directly, where were they murdered?
Yeah.
I was surprised. And they had a lot of time to prepare for this. Not one asked them that.
Yeah. Where was the car? I mean, did the murder take place in the car? Where were they murdered?
Were they
None
murdered
of that was
outside
said.
your son's apartment or house?
Again,
Yeah.
but the takeaway from here is the evidence was a cell phone that they recovered from the car, and they were able to dump it and get the information that somehow connected the father and the pickup truck.
Yeah. And just as we said tonight, as we were ending, this case is going to be solved on the cell phone records, the social media data, the computer records, and the
Text
car.
message, phone records. Yep.
And the cars. They were
Yeah.
able to track that car too back to the house. And he talks about that here. So let's take a listen.
Absolutely.
That helped hide the bodies?
Yes. And so I want to touch base on something real quick. Since the release of the video that we put out on the 28th, there has been, internet has blown up with people sending tips and people just sending misinformation. There's a lot of misinformation out there. These two individuals are the only suspects that we were looking for. They were arrested. There were many names being thrown around on the internet. Those people had nothing to do with this. We vetted them and everything. They didn't have anything to do with these murderers. So the individual, again.
So did you see what he just said there, Ed? There were so many names that were being thrown around on the internet of people who were involved in this, and they weren't. And yeah, and it's interesting that I'm shocked that there's that much information. I'm happy that they gave us some information, but I thought this was going to be short, sweet, and to the point. And he really elaborated quite a bit here.
The video that we put out on the 28th, there has been, internet has blown up with people sending tips and people just sending misinformation. There's a lot of misinformation out there. These two individuals are the only suspects that we were looking for. They were arrested. There were many names being thrown around on the internet. Those people had nothing to do with this.
Yeah, and not one reporter asked him about the towel, about if there was anybody else in the vehicles either. It's another thing too, but hopefully soon we'll find out.
We vetted them and everything. They didn't have anything to do with these murderers. So the individual, again, Christopher, we believe committed the murders of Matthew and Savanah, and then Ramon helped kind of dump the body. It appears to be a narcotic related deal that went bad.
Do we know the connection between this father and son and Matthew and Savanah, or the connection to the apartment complex?
So there's no apparent connection to the apartment complex. It's just a place where they want to go dispose or hide the vehicle with the bodies in it. And it appears that it was a drug deal. So there was like a drug connection to the suspect and the two victims. It's just when you hiding the body, moving the body after discovering that and all that kind of stuff. Yep. The December 21st, which is a Thursday, just before midnight, is when the actual murders took place. On that. Mm-hmm.
So a follow-up question there would have been, where did the murders? But they didn't ask. Hopefully we do get that from the affidavits, all the probable cause affidavits, the arrest processing. And we might see some public information about the location of exactly where they were murdered. We know when, before midnight on Thursday evening, December 21st. The 22nd timeline, where this is interesting. The father said, you know, his Matthew's father and stepmom went, he kicked in that door and there was a candle lit on the 22nd. Maybe it was early in the morning, maybe, I don't know. But he said everything was still there. A drug deal gone bad. Mother who is needing to be induced on Saturday, on a Thursday night. A very bad decision to go with Matthew for a drug transaction that went bad. Let's listen to the rest of this.
Right. So like I said, there's going to be possible charges pending, more charges pending. Our detectives are going to talk with the Bexar County DA to determine if they're going to be any charges facing any charges related to the unborn baby.
And do we know if she was dilated at all?
I didn't have that information from the medical examiners. I know that she was scheduled to be induced, and she didn't make her appointment, which is why the family went to the police to file the missing persons report.
Did he say where exactly they killed her?
I don't have exactly location. Or
they did ask.
They did ask. See, we missed that. Heads up to that. Kudos to that reporter. Did they say exactly where they killed him?
From the medical examiners, I know that she was scheduled to be induced, and she didn't make her appointment, which is why the family went to the police to file the missing persons report.
Did he say where exactly they killed her?
I don't have exactly location, or we just know that they were killed at a different location and then taken to the apartment complex to dispose of the vehicle and the bodies. I know there were some Spanish questions I wanted to knock out real quick.
Sí, podría darnos un resumen pequeño para la.
So he goes on to do some Spanish.
It was called afterwards to help. Y resultó en la muerte de las dos víctimas. Well, I mean, someone was buying and someone was selling, so it was a drug.
So she asked who was buying, and he said somebody was buying and somebody was selling. So he didn't specify whether the son, Christopher, was purchasing from Matthew or vice versa. He didn't specify.
Be charged with these murders through the accomplice theory or the multiple parties theory?
I'm sorry, who?
Ramon the dad. Could he be charged with
Accomplice.
theory?
No, he was not. He was not there during the commission of the murder.
So she asked, can the father be charged as an accomplice in this murder? And he said no. He was very specific. He said no, he wasn't there when these murders took place. So I just backed it up a second.
Theory or the multiple parties theory?
I'm sorry, who?
Ramon the dad. Could he be charged with the murders as well through the accomplice theory?
No, he was not. He was not there during the commission of the murder. It was called afterwards to help dispose or help his son.
So he was called afterwards to help dispose and help the son, is what he said. It was a bad feed, and it just kept cutting out. So hopefully there's a better feed from another news outlet, and I'll
saying Facebook, San Antonio PD's Facebook is now
live.
Bring this.
Okay, let me check that.
I'm sorry. Christopher has no previous criminal history, and Ramon did have a small. He had some prior criminal history.
So
he said Christopher had no criminal history, and then the father had a small criminal history. All right, let's take a look at the Facebook. You said it was the San Antonio Facebook, right?
Mhm.
Hmm.
Is it to your left? Past lives to your left.
Okay, so this is a different feed, and it's in vertical and not lands. It's up and down. So this is not going to be full screen, but it's different.
Why did he do it? Are you sorry for what happened? Did you know Savanah was 9? Did you know?
Make a hole, guys.
There's those homicide jackets, Ed.
Yep.
I think that was the guy we were critiquing tonight, right there.
Yeah, with the flashlight, right?
Yeah, that's him right there.
Maybe he had the lead.
He was the guy that was on the scene with the flashlight that we were going over tonight.
They want to know why. Why did you do it?
They basically let him get in on his own. He just walked away.
Never seen anything like that.
No. They let him get in himself. It was just the reporters there.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to see that again. Yeah. There's this cop goes to the right, and this,
Oh, he just comes, right?
and then the detective goes to the left.
They want to know why. Why did you do
And it's just reporters.
Yeah, and he leaves them there.
Wow. Who closes the door?
Later on, a uniform cop comes around and closes the door.
Holy shit.
No, he's cuffed. Smitty,
Yeah.
he's cuffed.
Yeah, he's cuffed, but still. Bunch of reporters with their phones.
Never seen anything like it. It just totally abandoned that side of the car, and the media took it over.
It was good for us because they got to volley questions at him.
It's not as if this guy's capable of running away.
No, he's not. He's not a gazelle.
Watch out, guys. Make a hole.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Move on. I gotta close the door.
Excuse me, guys. Excuse me, guys. Closing the door. Excuse me.
This is good because we didn't get to see him drive out.
Okay, here comes the sun.
This is the savage, man. This guy's a monster. God.
Same thing.
Yeah. It looks like he's wearing black shorts.
Uh-huh.
Let's see if this presser is on this. We might not have a breakup here. So we may hear more.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sergeant Washington Moscoso, WASHINGTON MOSCOSO. So the individuals you saw this evening, the first individual's name is Ramon Preciado, 53 years old, SID number 443651. The second individual was Christopher Preciado, 19 years old, SID number 1191061. So the two individuals we just walked out today, again, is a father and son. The first individual is a father. The second individual is a son. They're going to be charged. The son's going to be charged this evening with capital murder, and the father's going to be charged with abuse of a corpse. So we do expect more charges to be pending. So I'm not going to go into the whole thing. We all know what kind of led us to this to where we are today. I will say that when we recover, or when the bodies were discovered on Danny K.
The SID number is the state identification, maybe San Antonio ID for their arrest. It's their arrest number.
It's like our NYSID number.
Yeah, it's like a NYSID number. New York State ID. It's the.
Everybody has one, but you don't get it until you get arrested.
There you go.
Obviously, the investigation began. SAPD detectives made that location and started collecting evidence. One of the key pieces of evidence that we did collect at the scene was Savanah's cell phone.
Savanah's cell phone.
So
Yeah, that got cut off in the original. So they got Savanah's cell phone, and let's hear what he has to say about what they did with it.
That was handed over to our technology team, who was able to download some information on there. With the assistance of the U.S. Secret Service, we were able to get enough information, and so that information was given to our detectives today. With that information, the detectives were able to find a possible location of where the suspect vehicle that was released on that surveillance camera, the surveillance video, possible location where that suspect vehicle might be. They made that location, and sure enough, the vehicle was there. They did a little bit of surveillance on the video or on the vehicle, and then were able to determine which house it belonged to. They went up, knocked on the door. The first gentleman, the first individual, the father answered the door. He knew why the police were there. Was cooperated fully with the investigation. We're right here to headquarters, and our detectives were able to start interviewing both the son and the father. Again, they were both at the home. They were both brought down here, and the interrogations began. Through interrogating the individuals, our detectives had enough, based on what they said, there was enough information there to get a warrant signed by a judge tonight, again, to charge Christopher with capital murder and Ramon with abuse of a corpse. Again, there will be more charges pending. This is what we have right now. I'll answer any questions.
Due to the capital murder for the son and then abuse of the corpse charge for the dad, does that mean that you guys believe the son killed them and then the dad helped hide the bodies?
Yes. And so I want to touch base on something real quick. Since the release of the video that we put out on the 28th, internet has blown up with people sending tips and people just sending misinformation. There's a lot of misinformation out there. These two individuals are the only suspects that we were looking for. They were arrested. There were many names being thrown around on the internet. Those people had nothing to do with this. We vetted them and everything. They didn't have anything to do with these murderers. So the individual, again, Christopher, we believe committed the murders of Matthew and Savanah, and then Ramon helped kind of dump the body. It appears to be a narcotic related deal that went bad.
Do we know the connection between this father and son and Matthew and Savanah, or the connection to the apartment complex? So
there's no apparent connection to the apartment complex. It's just a place where they went to go dispose or hide the vehicle with the bodies in it, and it appears that it was a drug deal. So there was like a drug connection to the suspect and the two victims.
When you say abuse of a corpse, can you talk about that a little bit? Was there any mutilation, or is that?
It's just when you hiding the body, moving the body after discovering that and all that kind of stuff. Yep.
When he killed him, what exactly?
So December 21st, which is a Thursday, just before midnight, is when the actual murders took place. On that. Mm-hmm.
Are they going to be charged for the baby? Because in the state of Texas, technically they could be charged.
Are they going to charge him with murder for the baby?
Like I said, there's going to be possible charges pending, more charges pending. Our detectives are going to talk with the Bexar County DA to determine if they're going to be any charges facing any charges related to the unborn baby.
And do we know if she was dilated at all?
I didn't have that information from the medical examiners. I know that she was scheduled to be induced. And she didn't make her appointment, which is why the family went to.
Did you catch what she just asked him? I couldn't.
She asked him if she was dilated.
Dilated? Okay.
To the police to file the missing persons report.
Did he say where exactly they killed him?
I don't have exactly location. We just know that they were killed at a different location and then taken to the apartment complex to dispose of the vehicle and the body. I know there was some Spanish questions I wanted to knock down real quick.
Sí, podría darnos un resumen pequeño para la audiencia hispana de estas personas que presentó.
No hace preguntas.
Nada, una pregunta. Si tienes preguntas a particular.
¿A quiénes presentaron esta noche?
Sí, esta noche el primer señor que salió es Ramon Preciado, de 53 años, y el segundo es Christopher Preciado, de 19 años.
Christopher Preciado es el que hizo los asesinatos de las víctimas y su papá Ramón ayudó en esconder o tratar de esconder el carro y las víctimas.
Las dos personas eran las que aparecían en el video de vigilancia
Sí.
que presentaron la semana pasada.
Sí. Ajá.
¿Había un motivo para matarlos?
Parece que había una transacción de drogas que no fue, que fue mal. La transacción de drogas fue mal y resultó en la muerte de las dos víctimas.
When you say drug deals, you mean were they buying or selling? Do you know what?
Well, I mean, someone was buying and someone was selling, so it was a drug.
Can Ramon be charged with these murders through the accomplice theory or the multiple parties theory?
I'm sorry, could who?
Ramon, the dad, could he be charged with the murders as well through an accomplice theory?
No, he was not. He was not there during the commission of the murders. He was there kind of, I guess he was called afterwards to help dispose or help his son. I'm sorry?
These two have previous records?
Christopher has no previous criminal history, and Ramon did have a small, he had some prior criminal history.
So are you all
He
done
went
with
from
the
0 to
suspects?
1,000
we don't have
quick.
any other suspects that we're looking for.
And that surveillance video, were they alive during that surveillance
No.
video? They were not alive.
They were not alive, no.
Last question, guys. Christopher killed them and then moved the bodies to the car?
Correct. Well, I mean, I don't know if he moved them into the vehicle, the vehicle with the bodies in was driven to that apartment complex. It didn't happen at that apartment complex.
So ultimately, who's going to make the decision on the final charges? Is that going to be the DA's office?
Correct. Yes. So our detective again tonight are charging them with Christopher with capital murder, and Ramon with abuse of a corpse. They are working on some other charges that they're going to file. But regarding, I think specifically the question that you had about the unborn baby, they're going to have a conversation with the DA to determine whether they can charge or put the baby as another victim on this.
So does SAPD have any say whenever they talk to the DA's office?
Absolutely, yeah. It's a collaboration with our DA's
Would you
office.
say SAPD is going to seek that third charge for the unborn baby?
Our detectives are going to do everything they can to bring justice to the family.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you all for coming out tonight.
All right, so that was a much better angle, and it was uninterrupted. So,
And we got the information about whose cell phone it was,
yeah,
which is critical there. I just want to clarify something. I saw somebody post that when he said the SID number, it's SID. Somebody posted that it was CID and it stood for case identification number. It's not. It's the DPS assigns people when arrested a Texas state ID number, and that's what it is. And so this is the first time Christopher was arrested. So his SID number is new, but the father's SID number is not new. That was the one that he was assigned when his first arrest.
Right. Carries with you the whole time once you get arrested. I want to say thank you to all the super chatters. There was a ton of them there. I put them up. Sister Carol Ann Clark, and a whole bunch of people. Glenda was in there, Tara Ellis, and what additional charges may be filed. They were talking about additional charges perhaps for the unborn child. And I think that is part of the capital murder component. I believe in this case, it'll come into play, but also two murders, one or more. So they got two. I think would constitute. I looked at it really quick today. So yeah, that would be the only possibility, Tara, for additional charges, and they addressed that in that press conference.
I honestly think there could be another additional charge. I mean, we just had this conversation about the dirty laundries.
Yes.
He could be charged with accomplish after the fact, right?
So here's Stephanie with the $10 super chat. She says, "I'm shocked there isn't a third person." And this conversation, I anticipate in the hours to follow, in the days to follow, will be heavily debated online. But this police sergeant was very sure and was asked about any other perpetrators, and he said, hands down, that nobody else is involved and no other arrests are going to be happening. And folks, this is the beginning of the wheels of justice spinning, and they'll continue to spin because this is only the beginning. Again, the sergeant was asked about how this goes, and we explained it before the perp walkout. The detectives build their case. They present it to the district attorney, who then is taxed with, charging this defendant, going to a grand jury, getting the grand jury indictment, and then moving forward with either a trial or a guilty plea and no trial. That's how this works. So the district attorney's office, after they bring them down and they process them, they get it, and then they process it from there. I think we covered everything here tonight, Ed. Do we want to look at the chat just a little bit? Because people are still having questions. Hashtag Ed, hashtag DutyRon. We'll highlight your questions in the chat. Sandra, thank you for the $10 super chat. She says, thank you, DutyRon and Ed, new member. Thank you for becoming a member. Much appreciated.
Yes, thank you.
Also, Crochet Me Pink says Lacey Peterson was full term and Scott got charged with murder of their son too. Yeah, again, different states, different jurisdiction, and things of that nature. It always comes into play. Was there any bullet holes in the car? We went over that tonight. Watch our live stream from earlier.
Well, we don't know that all the details yet, if there were in fact bullet holes in the car, but we'll find out more. I'm sure there's going to be more information released.
And it's funny, I was conversing with my good friend Charlie, a retired Secret Service agent, and Ed, I want you to address, because it's got a lot of people chiming up and down. We always hear from the FBI does these enhancements. Why do you think San Antonio Police Department Homicide Squad went to the United States Secret Service, Ed?
Well, I'll tell you firsthand, because I took their training. They have the best electronic investigations team that I'm aware of for manipulating phones, and not manipulating, but extracting information from phones. I actually took their course on electronic criminal investigations, and it dealt with all of that information.
So this is not unusual.
No, they're subject matter experts for this kind of technology.
Yeah. And the repetitive question will be coming. This Terry M, thank you for the question. It's not a bad question, but DutyRon, wasn't there a second person in the truck? I actually had arguments with people over this. We are assuming that was a second person in the truck, but from that video, we did not see a hand, we did not see a face, we did not see a body. So in the court of law, you can't say that there was somebody in there, because how are we supposed to identify them unless somebody comes and says, it was me, you got me, I threw the towel to him. If nobody steps forward, or if these two don't give up a third person, right now, as it stands, that sergeant said, these are our only two perpetrators in this crime.
Well, if the detectives want to dig a little deeper, they can, if she had her own cell phone, if there was a woman there, like say the mother or somebody,
correct.
Right? They can pull her cell phone and see if she was in that, pinging off the towers nearby as well. Okay.
But as they said, this was a drug deal that went bad. And again, I'll say it, and I'm not ashamed when I said it before. Matthew, I'm sure, made the decision to either sell these drugs or buy them. And if I had a bet, if I was a betting person, I would say that he was selling to this guy. Again, if I'm wrong, I'll be the first to admit to it. But my guess would be that he was selling. So she tagged along for this probably routine drug sale, and it went really bad. And
I've seen this time and time again, folks. This isn't the first time. Like, we had a case here in Staten Island where a DEA undercover agent was selling drugs to wannabe mafioso Gus Faraci. And, they were parked on an overpass to a Staten Island highway, and Faraci took out his gun, shot and killed the agent, and took the drugs, took the money, and left the body of the agent there on the street. Then we had a similar case where two detectives, undercover detectives, were buying guns from two bad guys, and the two bad guys were in the backseat of the car and pulled out the gun and shot both the detectives in the head, dumped their bodies, stole the car.
Wow.
So it
Yeah.
happens.
And stuff happens. Bree says hashtag Duty Run. The perp's dad's house is around the corner from those apartments where the bodies were found. Yeah, we're going to hear more about this in the days to follow. I would anticipate that the chief may give a press conference tomorrow. There may be additional pressers, but this was a lot of information here. We know that Christopher was never charged with any crimes. This is a first offense. He went from 0 to 1,000 really fast. He did both of the murders. The father was not there, as he said. Father was not there. He helped to dispose of the bodies. He's charged with abuse of a corpse. And I'm sure that it's going to be ×2. And if it gets upgraded, ×3. December 21st, before midnight, that's Thursday, is when the time of death. He was asked straight out. They were murdered just before midnight on December 21st. That's Thursday evening into Friday morning. She was scheduled to be induced Saturday morning, just a day later. So really unfortunate. I mean, I send, again, prayers, strength, and positive vibes to the families, the surviving families, the grandma, and everybody who's mourning the loss of life here. It's just tragic all around. And, we got to take this as an example. You look at this and it's a learning experience. Ed, you see anything in the chat before we close?
Well, Renee Brown listed something about the statute in Texas for abuse of a body, felony. Usually a felony starts with a minimum of 1 year. She wrote felony 6 months to 2 years. I'm not sure about it. Typically a felony starts with a minimum of 1 year. But it's also going to be 3 counts of it. Okay. Not just 1 count.
Yeah.
Okay. And it is additional charges, as the sergeant said, are going to be pending.
Yeah, he did say that. He said it twice. So we'll link in the description the links to these videos that we played. So question from Glued to My TV. I like that screen name. Question at DutyRon. Wonder if she had an iPhone. Maybe Siri recorded something that was said, because it used to do it all the time randomly for me. If she did have an iPhone, there's a potential for that to happen, which is, again, Ed and I talk about this all the time. Stupid criminals. Criminals make mistakes. And this is not a career criminal. So this happened fast, probably unplanned. It just escalated. And this guy, Christopher, murdered both of them and left her phone behind. Mistake. And now in that car, they're going to take all kinds of DNA samples, those long hairs. Ed, you want to talk about?
Oh yeah. Oh, his hairs are all over that car. You see how long his hairs are? His hair is all over that car, and there's no way they cleaned it up. They're not going to clean up a car. They like drive to a car wash to start using a vacuum with 2 dead bodies in it. They dumped that car around the corner from where they met, and
they pushed him back in that car too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he tried to get up and get out. He pushed him back. Sit down.
Okay, and there's going to be DNA. There's going to be fingerprints. There's going to be hairs. There's going to be fibers from his clothing, and it's a slam dunk, as somebody wrote here. Joey Brooklyn, slam dunk.
Absolutely. Allison BD, a great friend of this channel and a longtime supporter. Thank you, Allison. She says, thankfully, he was sloppy. Absolutely. Here's another hashtag. Miss Riss says, DutyRon, did the cops find Savanah's phone in the car and something on the phone led them back to the house, or he stole the phone and they located it at his house? No, they said that phone is when they took the data from that phone, and then they also used, I guess, the data that they extracted from that phone. Maybe Matthew used it to communicate with them, and then went back and used that phone to get them back to that location where they ultimately arrested these perpetrators.
They said they processed the car. The crime scene people processed the car, and the phone was in the car.
There you go. Bingo. Yahtzee. All right, listen, this is concluding our coverage, 1 hour and 30 minutes. We did 1 hour and 30 on our other live stream. I'm going to link tonight's live with our auto crimes expert. We kind of talked about almost everything that unfolded here in that live stream. We talked about the car, we talked about the cell phones, we talked about the data and how important it was. And there's a lot of unanswered questions still that we all will have, but we'll continue this conversation and we will continue to cover this case. But this was a live stream, unscheduled, and 2 perpetrators in custody as of January 3rd, 2024. Now we're into January 4th. Guys and girls, on behalf of Crime Time with DutyRon and Ed Wallace, we want to wish you a good evening, and thank God these perps are in custody. Ed, any final words?
Yes, amen to that. And, now the victims' families have some peace of mind now, knowing that the suspects that murdered their loved ones are off the street, and all the people of San Antonio should be feeling a little relief as well, that these 2 are off the streets now. But always remember, stay prepared, stay safe, and watch your 6.
And I'm just going to say quickly a moment of silence for these victims and unborn child. So I'm going to bow my head just for a moment and just give a little bit of silence for them. Amen.
Amen. And kudos to the San Antonio Police Department.
Yeah, great job by all. Community can sleep easy tonight. All right, guys, good night from New York City, and we'll talk to you guys all soon. Stand by for a message from the cop team.